really big success because you, with the last album, you sold 24 millions, and with the new one, now 16. And
I don't even know. You know more than I know.
yes, but I want to know about your feelings of really big success like this.
Well, I mean, of course, I'm grateful for everything I have, and I feel like it's a lot of hard work. People might see it from the outside and not realize how much work really goes into doing this and maintaining this kind of thing. And, you know, just any career in the music business is a lot of work if you want to kind of keep up with it. You know, it sort of takes over you. But it's been good. I've learned a lot, and I'm really happy with this album, and I'm looking forward to the tour.
If someone at the beginning, if someone has told you that you became a big star like this, what would you have said at this moment?
Well, I mean, I always knew this is what I wanted to do, so I had to believe that I could do it, or it wouldn't have happened.
So you're not surprised by this success?
Well, of course, in the beginning, it happened so quickly, and I mean, you know, everything just all at once sort of started rolling, and so, you know, you're kind of like caught up in a whirlwind when that sort of thing happens. But, I mean, for my whole life, I've really been waiting to have a career in music and do this because it's what I love, and people on the outside look at it like it happened so quickly, you know, for me, because I was right out of high school and I started, you know, I got my record deal and I made my album and I haven't stopped since, you know, so, but I've been working up to this since I was a little kid and waiting to do it, so.
How come your strength for music? Because I think you have really a lot of strength to know that you can be a star like this. But how come this strength?
Well, I mean, I started singing when I started talking. It was like a simultaneous thing. I've loved music since I can remember. My mother was an opera singer, and she was with New York City Opera when I was a little girl, and she used to be in the house rehearsing, and so I knew that my mother did it as a professional singer, so it wasn't such a far-fetched goal as it would be for other people who didn't know anybody like that or know musicians. My mother also used to sing jazz, and she always had different jazz musicians that were her age at the house, and I would sing with them, you know, when I was like 10 years old or something. So it gave me a different kind of a confidence than an average kid who just liked to sing in the choir at school, you know what I mean? I was working with people that were, you know, years and years and years older than me, and that were really talented musicians, you know, for a long time. And it was just always like a special dream for me, you know, if I had problems growing up or things that would happen, music was always my thing that nobody could take away from me. That was always, you know, something that stood out for me as a goal and as my kind of my saving grace that I always had. So I guess that's why.
Yes, and about your influences, do you think that when you say I was listening to this kind of guys, of bands, do you think that now, for those who are still living, do you think that they can be proud of you with your success?
I don't know. I hope so.
What do you think about their feelings when somebody like you say I was listening to them, and now you become a really big star? And
well, I think the people that, you know, that I love and that I've been influenced by influence so many people who've gone on to become successful that they've probably gotten used to it. You know, I mean, like Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, you know, all the great R&B singers, you know, that I've been influenced by and that inspired by, you know, I guess is a better word. And so they're probably used to it by now.
So could you say that the American dream still exists? It can
oh, definitely.
It can happen. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have a good example?
I guess so. I don't know.
We were talking about now your album, Daydream. I want to know, because you are really involved in this album,
Right.
More and more involved. You wrote the lyrics, you almost all the music, and you almost take the camera for the video clip, and it's a normal evolution for you.
I guess so. I mean, I think because I started out with my first album, I had a demo which had basically more than half the songs that ended up on my first album. And so I kind of set a precedent that I would be writing, you know, more and more. I mean, I've co-written everything up until this point, you know, except the remakes or things like that. And so, I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't involved in that aspect of things from day one. I was, you know, I've been writing songs since I was like 12 years old. So, I mean, it was pretty much of a natural evolution to go into the production end of things, because when you write something and you give it to somebody else to produce, they can take it away from your vision of where it was. And I mean, a lot of songs from the first album, I think that happened too, you know. Things kind of got lost in the transition, sort of. And so I've tried to prevent that from happening. And even, like, after that, when I would collaborate, let's say, with Walter or someone, and he would do it in his studio, and then we would talk about it, he would do it, and then I would sing and do the background vocals and, you know, give criticisms. It's not the same as being there and doing it from the first thing. You know, you have to do it from scratch, you know, the entire track with the person, or it's not going to be what you want. So it's a learning process.
Yes, I think what you say, you can. You agree? Do you agree? You can see it on the song When I Saw You, because you almost don't stop you don't stop to sing during all the song. And in the middle you say, When I Saw You I Could Not Breathe.
Yeah.
But does it mean that it's really your album, because this song is really, it's typical of the album? No.
I don't know. That's interesting. Not many people talk about that song, but that's not my favorite song from the album.
Which one?
I like a song called Underneath the Stars. It's the second song. That's my favorite song from the album. Just on the level of production-wise and lyrically. It's just a song that I'm really proud of overall. But, you know, of course, One Sweet Day with Boyz II Men, that's a favorite of mine because of the collaboration. And I don't know, I just feel as a whole the album is closer to where I want to be, and just the, you know, the remixes that I've, you know, had a lot of fun doing for this project and collaborating with people. You know, it's been a lot different than things I've done in the past, and it's been a lot of fun for me, you know. And I've had to kind of, you know, force my way into being able to do this, but it's all good, whatever.
Yes. And about the remixes of the song Fantasy, there's a lot of who have been released, but does it mean that a song is never finished? So everybody can give their own feelings to a song?
Well, as far as if there's a person that's a great remixer, you know, and like the David Morales, for example, you know, I love working with him and doing new versions of songs, remaking my own songs. It's like a process of redoing it. A lot of people just give the person the tracks and with the vocals, and he redoes the music and flies in the vocals, and it can work that way. But the way I like to work with David is to really rewrite the whole melody and some of the lyrics to make it fit with the melody, because a lot of times if you're doing something that's a slow tempo or medium tempo and then you go and do his track, it sounds kind of bad to try and fly it in, and the chords are always different, and that kind of irks me. So it's a fun thing. I I named the album after one of the mixes that we did. We were doing the fantasy remix, and he did this one really jazzy version of it that I didn't do till 5 in the morning after working on the whole thing. And I just sort of started scatting, and it had this very ethereal feeling. And I started singing the Daydream is all that I can do thing, and I hadn't had a title for the album, and I just thought that it fit because it was just sort of like a very moody, dreamy kind of vibe.
Mariah Carey was born on March 22nd, 1970, to parents Patricia and Alfred. Her mother and father divorced when Mariah was 3 years old, and she was later quoted as saying, "Everybody wishes they had a Brady Bunch family, but it's not reality."
to finish with the album, if you have to choose one album of you, which one? The first because it was the first, or the last because it's the last?
I would choose the last, and I would choose certain songs from other albums and take off, you know, one or two.
Okay.
To be honest.
I would like to speak about your person, but your social life, in fact. But I read in a magazine that you give money to children to go on holidays, and it's a social part of yourself. But do you think it's important to be, when you are an artist, to be social like this?
I mean, it's important for me to try and contribute something to people's lives if I possibly can, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like it's that much of an effort to work with people like the kids in the Fresh Air Fund, because, I mean, it seems to me the least I can do, and it doesn't take a lot to go and spend time with them and to kind of work on different projects to sort of enhance their summer. What it is, it's an organization. They take underprivileged kids from the inner cities and they bring them up to different camps, and there's this one camp that is now called Camp Mariah. They named it Camp Mariah because we did a fundraiser and we raised a lot of money for the camp, you know, to keep it going. And so it's been a really rewarding experience for me because, I mean, to show the kids that there's a chance for them, you know. I didn't start this like, you know, some, you know, princess or rich person or something. I mean, I started out basically like them, you know, in the sense that I didn't have a lot and, you know, but I had determination, I had a goal, and I had belief in myself. And if some of the kids don't have parents who tell them that, like I have a mother who always taught me that, but some of the kids don't, you know, and it's good to be able to kind of help them feel empowered in that way.
Yes. Do you think that all the artists must have the same way of mind?
That's not my place to say.
No. But about, I mean, a comportment of some kind of artists who are really unable to make these kind of things. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's all about the individual, and I can only speak for myself in saying that I enjoy doing it, and, you know, I'll continue to do it.
Yes. Do you have any other projects about?
Well, right now I'm just getting ready for the tour, and I'm looking forward to coming to France.
Yes. So let's talk about the tour.
Okay.
Yes. You were in Japan, I think, and you really there was really a big crowd.
It was a very large crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard more than 50,000 people each night.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think you did better than the Rolling Stone.
I don't know.
So what are your feelings now after Japan?
Well, after Japan, I mean, I felt sort of let down because I wanted to keep going and keep working. But the thing is, I always have to be very protective of my voice because that's the main reason that people come to see me. And, you know, it's very strenuous singing these songs, you know, one after another, even just one show, you know. But I just wanted to kind of continue. And every time I did these interviews, people would always say, when are you touring? When are you touring? And so I just wanted to kind of start it off now and come there.